Right, in this video I'll be showing you a gearbox change. Now we'll just make it clear this is the first time I've done it, so if you are an experienced mechanic working on these things and what I say may be either wrong or different way round or whatever, forgive me. So first thing was disconnect drive cable down there, take the plastic cover off, and then it was a case of there's a nut and bolt that goes through there, which that goes there. You just need to put a 3/8 of an inch ratchet in that hole from that angle. I haven't got that here, but yeah, you do that, then you just slowly let that slacken, and then when it's all done, put it back in, and then you pull it so you can get the bolt in and do the rest of it up. So, as you can see, how to take the blade off and the ring and the guard and everything. And there's, how well you can see, this bar here goes in to this point there, just held on by one of those spring clip things. So obviously I've put the new big sprocket on. Don't quite know why they're that floppy, it's just the way they are. I reckon that could be improved, to be honest. So gearboxes. So this is how you buy one from a dealer or wherever, and this is ultimately how they need to be with this plate. So it all screws in, got like 2 holes for it. Plate that, and the cable, drive cable, goes in here, locks in there, and just literally does that. Now this is completely caked in oil and gunge. Now this is actually made by General Transmission. I always thought that these were made by Toro, but no, sadly, I say sadly because they haven't got the best reputation. It's not the worst, but they're not bulletproof. They're not like a good German ZF gearbox. So you can see bearings and all sort have come away. Don't even know where these came from. So we have this mounting plate which goes in there one way, and this one. So you can see the old bearings there, and these washers, I can reuse them, and these are the new bearings, and much to my surprise they're XKF, which are very good bearings. These are, well, they're good maker bearings. So yes, obviously these are sort of failed, but I think the previous user was a bit of a moron. But these ones, I hope they're very good. They weren't that expensive. I think they're about 4 or 5 quid each, I think. So one in there, one in there. I'll see what I can record. I haven't got my stand and everything with me. This is purely how I do it. It's not a tutorial or anything like that. One thing I have noticed with this, which goes in on that bit up there, is they use these wafer thin washers. Now I've never seen roller frame brackets with washers like that before, not from Hater anyway. So I think eventually over time, when these get worked on and removed, they'll slowly disappear. I think they'll vanish. Do they do much? I doubt it. I'm sure there's a reason. So we've also got this spring. So yeah, we have, just show you, got this plate here, which goes onto the deck there. There, those two holes. Match up with them. It's got this stud. I don't know if that's supposed to be worn in the middle there, but what that does, just from the way it came off, the spring rests against there. There is a hole there. Rests against there. Inside here, it just basically goes like that. So when it's engaged, it's tightening on the spring, I think. Like when you engage the drive, then it's all engaged. And then, obviously, the spring's not pressed when the drive isn't engaged. So that's a little bit different. Not seen that. At least I can't think I've seen it on, again, haters before. So yeah, I'll see how I go. Right, and as you can see, I have the new gearbox in. What a interesting experience, let's put it that way. So I can't remember now what I said. It was 2 days ago, or a day, can't remember. Mine's going mad. Anyway, release all this stuff, and then this bar goes down there. You probably won't be able to see, but it just goes on that little lug which connects to the roller frame. You can just see it just beyond there. It's beyond there in the middle, I think, middle of your screen. Need to put one of those Starlock washers on there. So yeah, to get that out, you need to take that off, disconnect the BBC cable. It's fairly straightforward on these funny clip things. Undo these two screws, then it sits through this plate with a metal spring. It's a bit loose, but basically when you engage the drive, it does that, so it's sort of cushioning. And then there's two screws there, there, and there, and then it all comes out then. It'll come out like a little bit, and then it gives you enough room to try and take the gearbox off. Obviously you'll need to whiz this off, two screws. Easiest to get this off if you have it on height number 4, then you can get to both screws. Take that off, circlip and the thrust washer on top of the small sprocket. Take that off, take the chain off. You can leave the big one on, and then you have to basically wiggle this around. Now there is room. Basically this plate, which I had a transfer from the old one, can slide that way, and then the whole gearbox moves and comes off fairly easily. Now the problem I had was getting the new bearing in there. I'll spray some grease on it just to help. As I said, they are good bearings, and but yeah, the old ones, like this mower's a complete it's been treated without any care. Basically the old bearing was still actually in here, and I didn't actually realise that after quite a while of trying to understand how to get the bearing in, because it just wouldn't fit. I spoke to my dealer. They said put the bearing in the freezer so it shrinks. Tried that overnight, made no difference. Now it's not their fault, it's basically mine for not knowing basically that the outer rim of the bearing was still stuck in there. Right, so I've just moved this so I can actually get it out, because forgot. It was just sitting down there. Won't do any harm. So yes, it was just sitting in there, and I thought it was weird having some lips, or ledges, whatever you want to call them, sticking out from inside the framework there. Then I thought maybe it's a bearing. So after a bit of heat and big hammer and big screwdriver going in that way, managed to get this out, and then it was quite easy to get the rest in. If you are going to change this, I don't know if I've mentioned this in another video or not, it's easy. Well, I don't know if there's many ways to do it, but you basically need to loosen all 2, 4, 6 screws, jiggle it, I don't know if you can get a screwdriver under there, but the only time I've had to do it, I've had the rollers out. That's not too difficult, but the way I've always done it, as I say, rollers have been worked on anyway, rollers out, then you can get to, there's a screw down there, then was one up there, and then deep down there. I think there's 4 screws in total. Then you can sort of jiggle it and get it out and put the new one in. So yeah, so done that, put the BBC cable in. It has this get a light, funny little plastic cover, which you can see I just need to squeeze it in a little bit more, which just protects it, I suppose, which is quite a nice little design. And yeah, and so I'm not sure how good a paint they actually use on these new haters. They definitely don't seem to hold their paint for very long, but there you are. It's not obviously the mintiest of mowers because it is 2 years old. It's been abused by a fool, but there you are. And do that, and then basically got the belt cover. Got the belt cover with old trusty banana. That just slides on these things. I have these little grooves that sit in the deck, so that's quite nice. So see on the groove, no, and then there's screw there, screw down there. Don't do them up, as then the ring goes around it, which 1, 2, 3, 4, the plastic ring, and I don't really know why I have that, but anyway, and then the disc and the blade. So I'll show you when that's all done. Right, as you can see, we're all back up the right way around. So got the 3-speed doodah on, this black lever here, which all very funky. So I just need to put the wash port back in its hole, and then the tension spring. There's quite a few different ways of going about it. There's a little rivet down there that it rotates on, so that's useful. And it's just a small little cutout holds the spring, and then that hole is for this 3/8 ratchet. So the idea is now you have to pull it to a point where this hole lines up with that one, put a bolt in that way, and then do it up, and more or less done then. So as you can see, got the screw in here. Actually it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought you had to sort of put it this way and everything. but because it rotates on that, you want this ratchet handlebar to be up like here, then you can put it, well, just literally press down and then bung that in. Then you've got obviously tighten it up, connect up the drive cable, cover on, and make sure it all works. Wish me luck.